This week I want to talk about how to trust your instincts and inspire others regardless of your age. So what am I talking about here? When you trust your instincts, now your instinct is something that you can't see. That's where trust comes in. And another word for trust is faith. Have faith. This is something that is very critical to spiritual personality typing, because when you trust your instincts, you're going within and you're listening to that voice. Now, whether you want to call that your higher conscious self, I like to call it the spark of divine intelligence that's in all of us. It's your truth. It becomes your true self because it's going to integrate with your personality, right? Your spiritual self and your personality, right? They integrate, and that's where you get the true self. So when you start trusting your instincts, your choices, even if they're small steps, brings you to a forward motion. This is why it's so important to trust your instincts. And for many of us, the noise in the world often overpowers the whispers of your instinct, of your, I call it responsive intuition. It's responding to you. It's responding to your longings, to your passions, to your meant to be. My name is Nina Zapala. This is a place to talk about spiritual personality typing. It's an evolved personality paradigm that teaches the idea that your spirit mind, your higher conscious self, that inner voice within, that divine spark of intelligence, is what needs to lead that egoic, logical mind that has its purpose, of course. But when you let that spirit mind that is tethered to all that is, you step into your full human potential, your creativity, your imagination, your gifts, your wonder, your magic, and you show up unapologetic. You're undeniable and you're totally authentic. You're going to be living your truth. So it's really important to trust that intuition, because it takes you away from the model that we've been taught to live, the model of consumption, to look externally for answers, to listen to this guru or this expert, or do it this way. This is what's made them successful, on and on and on and on. When really, in reality, your intuition is speaking to you all the time in little whispers. It has the answers that you're looking for. But we've become so distracted by the noise that we don't tune into it. That's what I want to help you see through this video. Like, let's look at how you do. Let's look at maybe why you're not tuning into it, and then how to tune into it. Okay? So, and I'll give you an example. I'll give you some examples of what happened with me. And hold on, I'm gonna find this for you too. There's a great story, and there's lots more in it's my new blog is all about this. There's a great story. It was in People magazine. It was about Violet, this woman she was 103 years old, right? She is today. And her granddaughters have been putting her sketches on TikTok, and they've just been going crazy. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, this is the coolest crap, you know? This lady's 103 years old. She's like, what's going on? What's TikTok? And she's loving it, right? And she said something that I want you to hear, because this is key to the message. When they asked her, like, oh, why is this so popular? She goes, because I was sharing my truth. I was sharing my passion. I wasn't doing it to get on TikTok. TikTok wasn't even around when I was doing it. So at 13 years old, it was what was coming out of me. It was what was in me that was meant to come out and through me. right? And this is what your intuition helps you do. It helps you guide you. It helps guide you into the ways to get all that in you to come out into the world, right? And she said, she goes, you know, in my day and age, I repressed all that because I was told that we as women were here to have children and raise our family. She goes, I have no regrets. But I have to ask the question, what would have happened if she wasn't taught that narrative? If that narrative wasn't true? And we know it's not true because we're not all here to do that. Yes, we can. We can now choose differently. Same thing happened to me with my mom. My mom was highly intuitive. She like had this antenna and she could just like see a person go, oop, good energy. Stay away from that person. Can't read that person. Let's just go. And all the time, like I'd be walking in Pittsburgh with her and she would just pick out people. Like, I was like, God, Mama, what are you, a radar with this stuff? And she's like, I just have this gift. And she was very humble about it. She never studied it. It was just innate within her. And she said something to me at one point. She said, because she was speaking with her relatives that had transitioned. And I said, Mom, how are you doing this? And she said, oh, dog patting me on the head. Like, I swear to God, like I was this little puppy. She said, oh, honey, just because you don't see something doesn't mean it's not real. I was like, dang. And I was like, what, 8 or 9? I was young. And that seed was planted into me so many years ago. And just like my mom, and I think I obviously learned this through my childhood, it's what's made me hold myself back. It's made me afraid to step out. It's like said, oh, you can't do this. You'll be thought of like this, because those were her beliefs. She was raised heavily Catholic. And the Catholic Church poo-pooed this. Like, no, you weren't a psychic. That means you're a witch and you have the devil in you. Because only God can do that, or only priests can do that, right? And so she often held herself back, which now I see, looking into my family mirror, I see, ooh, I'm doing the same thing. I don't want to be seen. That's why I've done PR and like was always behind the scenes my whole life. Now, obviously, I'm stepping forward because what I found is my intuition is part of my gifts I'm here to share with the world, along with spiritual personality typing, to help other people really see themselves and really connect with their intuition so they can bring what's in out. And we can decode all those things, just like in me. All those things, all the fears. Oh no, you can't do it. You're afraid. You're going to get judged. It's not acceptable. All those things. And I'm sure you have your own things. But I'm also telling you, there is a whisper in you that's inviting you to maybe take another path, or maybe augment the path that you're on, or maybe pivot and do a 180, right? Maybe you've always wanted to live abroad, maybe by the beach, or maybe in the mountains, whatever it is, right? Maybe you've always wanted to write a book, or like this beautiful lady, she wanted to be a designer her whole life. And honestly, she was a designer. And it doesn't matter if she's on the runways now. What matters is her story is so inspiring. It's inspiring young people and old people alike to say it's never too late. It's never too late. And that's what's so cool about us being human beings. You know, we're inspired by other people's stories and about, you know, what held them back and how they broke through those things. We all have those moments in our lives, every single one of us. The point is we break through and we recognize and we start listening to our intuition. And when you ask something and it starts responding, you don't ignore it, right? You listen to it, and it might be crazy. Other people are going to say, oh, you're not supposed to do that. Like other people said, oh, Nini, there's no way you can write a book at your age. You shouldn't do that. You should just retire. Good thing I didn't listen. You know? So now I wrote a book. It's called Unpack Your Personality, Let Your Inner God Be Your Travel Guide. And it's really about traveling intentionally. It's a new movement, I believe, in travel, where you don't travel just to consume. And that's one of the reasons I stepped away from a career I loved, thinking it was my calling, when in actuality, it was a precursor to my calling, but it wasn't it. It wasn't. I'm still going to travel, but what I find in the pieces that I'm taking from the travel industry that's so rewarding to me is having deep conversations with people and helping them like see some things about themselves that they might not have seen. So, and I call these my little walk-in talks, where I just take people out, ask me some questions, and we're going to walk and talk about it. I want to get to know you. I want you to be seen. I want you to be heard. And I'm going to trust my intuition, and you're going to call your intuition in. And it might be strange at first, but we're walking and talking. It's not some sit down, like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this, because I don't know who you are, so how can I tell you what to do? And I don't want to tell you what to do. I want it to be a free flow of information where you're as much as a contributor as I am. But that's me trusting my gut. Well, I don't know. I've gotten a couple people to show up, and I'm going to get more because I got to put it on my website. I know I'm so lame. But honestly, guys, it's this kind of thing. So where are you holding yourself back? Are you listening to other people? I mean, you might have a naysayer in your family. Everyone has one. Trust me. And I can be one too. So I'm calling myself out on that. But you can't listen to their nays when you want a yay, because you're saying yay, let's go, and they're saying nay. You have to trust your intuition. And I'm sure, and you should be grabbing a journal for this one too, but you grab a journal and you just do a little when I trusted my intuition and when I didn't. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not really fully knowing what intuition is, it is that positive, joyful feeling that comes up in you, right? And kind of leads you down a road. It could be serendipitous. It could be like a detour, like, and all of a sudden you show up and you're like, man, this is so awesome. That was your intuition kind of guiding you, right? It's going to be the unknown. You're going to have to step into the unknown, but that's where all the joy is. That's where all the treasures of you are. It's in the unknown. We all know that. We're all starting to know that, because as you look out into the world, what's out in the world, is that what you want? No, what you want's in here. It's within you, and it wants to come out so bad. Your intuition's like wants to come out, but it will never force itself. It's going to whisper, so you're going to have to allow it. You're going to have to call it in. And I created this really cool walking mantra for you, because I love to walk and talks, right? Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Sorry, my computer is lagging. And this is your walking mantra. This is fun. So as you walk, you just say to yourself, with every step, I honor my true gifts. I embrace my journey, and it's never too late to share my soul's light. And you just keep on saying that. Or do a mantra that resonates with you. It's just an example. But as you walk, and I encourage you to walk or do something active outside in nature, because that's your intuition will speak to you. I get the best ideas walking in the mornings. So I hope this helps you kind of explain like what intuition is, and to take some steps. And I've told you some steps to do. You know, you're going to have to trust yourself. You're going to have to listen to yourself. And that might mean shutting out the naysayers. It's going to mean shutting out the naysayers. And you know, sometimes it is your family. Sometimes it's your spouse. Let them be them. Let you do you. You know? And if they're like, oh, I don't want you to do this, you know what? Do it for a little while on your own. I'm not saying get a divorce. I'm not saying any of that. But why don't you take a couple weeks? See what it feels like. I know you'll come home changed. That's for sure. But why not? Step into it. You know, and I know it's scary. So take small steps. So don't take 2 weeks. Take a weekend. Take a day. Instead of being a slave to everyone else's needs and roles. No, step back. Listen to what's inside of you that wants to come out. That's your intuition. It's trying to tell you something. So there's tons of stuff on the blog for you. There's journal prompts, like I just read you. There's mantra, there's a walking mantra. There's more examples. I go into deeper examples of how, I started here and now I'm here, right? It was work. I've talked about my tsunami, so it was work. So it's not the easy path, but it's the path that's brings so much more reward than just what is. And if that's you, if you're seeking that big reward, then you're in a perfect place. You need to start figuring out this spiritual personality typing, because it's really going to help you. It's going to clarify so much for you, especially when you get to be my age. I mean, it works for everybody, but as you get into your 60s, life changes. It's just a different season. It's all it is. But I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe. You know the stuff to do on YouTube. You're an adult. So if you feel like it, do it. If you're getting called to do it, do it. If you're not, I hear you. But I just hope these videos help you in some small way, because that's what I'm here to do. In some small way, I want to help you start turning on that soul light that's within you. Just turn it on. It's like a dimmer switch. Put it on dim. Let's go. Let's start turning it up, because you're here to share something with the world, or you wouldn't be here. So anyway, all for now. And I thank you so much for being here with me and being part of this community, because I'm on a movement. I want to elevate how we age and how we think about ourselves, so we can bring more light to the world. We can bring our best, highest human potential to the world. And that's where we live. And that, my friends, is work. But if we all do it together, man, it gets powerful. I thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, or evening, or morning. Bye for now. Nina.